Welcome to the Deep Seek Diaries. So let me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself, just nodding along, saying yes, when honestly every part of you is screaming no?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling. It's so familiar, isn't it?
Right, that feeling of being constantly pulled in different directions, your time, your energy just drained.
Yeah, demands from work, from friends, maybe even family. It adds up.
It really does. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a book that promises some help with exactly that. It's called The Art of Saying and No: How to Stand Your Ground, Reclaim Your Time and Energy, and Refuse to be Taken for Granted Without Feeling Guilty. Quite the title.
It is indeed. It's by the Amazon bestselling author Damon Zahariades.
And our mission today is really to unpack what this book offers. We'll look at the strategies and see if it lives up to those big promises. Can that simple little word no really be so transformative?
That's the core question we're exploring.
Before we go on, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video. This podcast is known as the Deep Seek Diaries, and you can find us on the major social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Linked in the description section are all the resources in discussion today, including books, websites, and so on. Please go through our terms and conditions as soon as you can. Sit back and enjoy the podcast. Okay, let's unpack this. That title, it's a bold promise, isn't it? Reclaiming time and energy without feeling guilty. That sounds like, well, the dream for a lot of people.
It really does. And what's interesting is the author, Damon Zahariades, he's known as a productivity expert, runs artofproductivity.com, but he's very open about his own journey. He shares that he used to be a major people pleaser himself.
Hey, really?
Yeah, found it incredibly hard to say no, mostly because he didn't want to disappoint anyone. This was back in his corporate America days before he struck out on his own.
Ah, okay. So he gets it from personal experience.
Exactly. And that experience, I think, really grounds the book. It feels less theoretical and more like a practical guide from someone who's actually walked that path.
That makes a difference.
Definitely. His move into running his own agency and creating these action guides, it directly connects to the book's whole approach, which is very much a step-by-step strategic kind of guide.
So what does this all mean for the reader? What are the core concepts, the key things Damon really wants us to grasp from The Art of Saying No?
Well, the absolute central argument is about setting boundaries, clear boundaries, and then, crucially, developing the assertiveness to actually maintain them.
Assertiveness. Okay.
Yeah. It's about learning how to confidently, turn down requests or decline invitations when they don't align with your priorities or your capacity.
Which sounds simple, but
it's often really hard in practice, and he acknowledges that. He actually dives into what he calls the top 11 reasons we tend to say yes when we know we should say no.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Well, one big one is the desire to be seen as helpful, We want to be the good colleague, the supportive friend, the reliable family member. That social conditioning makes saying no feel almost wrong.
Yeah, I can see that.
Another one he flags is FOMO, the fear of missing out. We might say yes to things we don't really have time or energy for because we're afraid we'll miss some great opportunity or be left out.
Guilty is charged sometimes.
We all are, I think. He also tackles that guilt factor head on. This is a really key part of the book.
Also,
he makes a strong case that saying no doesn't make you a bad person. Actually, he argues the opposite might be true, that it's a vital act of self-respect and self-care.
Framing it as self-care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Recognizing your own limits allows you to be more genuine and effective when you do choose to say yes. It's about shifting focus from seeking external approval to building internal integrity.
Okay, that's a powerful shift.
It is. The book also covers the best way to develop the habit of setting personal and professional boundaries. And there's a really practical piece on self-assessment, too.
Like a quiz or something.
Sort of, yeah. It helps you figure out how to know whether you're a people pleaser, and even how to gauge the severity of the problem. A bit of self-reflection.
That sounds useful. How's the book structured? Is it dense?
No, actually, that's another point. The structure reflects its practical aim. It's pretty concise, about 170 pages, part of his Art of Living Well series.
Okay.
And many chapters are super short, like 2 or 3 pages. Maybe 4 or 5 at the most.
Oh, wow. Really bite-sized.
Yeah, exactly. As one Amazon reviewer pointed out, it makes it really easy to read in bits and pieces without losing the thread. You can pick it up, get a nugget, and put it down. Designed for quick learning.
Right. That brings us to the practical application. Shifting your mindset is one thing, but actually doing it, especially doing it gracefully, that's the hard part. Does it give you, actual things to say, scripts,
It absolutely does. That's a major focus. It explicitly offers 10 simple strategies for turning people down with finesse.
Okay, give me an example. Finesse sounds good.
Sure. One method he talks about is the pause and reflect. So instead of that knee-jerk yes or awkward no on the spot,
Right.
you buy yourself some time. You might say something like, let me check my calendar and get back to you, or, I need to think about that. I'll let you know by the end of the day.
Ah, the pause.
Yeah.
Simple but effective.
It really is. It puts control back in your court. Lets you actually consider if you can or want to do it. Another strategy is the soft no with an alternative offer.
How does that work?
You decline the specific request, but maybe you suggest a different way you could help, perhaps on a smaller scale, or you recommend someone else who might be a better fit. It helps maintain the relationship.
Keeps things positive.
Exactly. And what's really valuable, I think, is the bonus material section.
Bonus material, what's in there?
It's got dedicated advice on how to say no to specific groups of people.
Oh, that's specific. Like who?
Your spouse, your kids, friends, neighbors, coworkers, clients, bosses, even strangers. He gives tailored approaches for each.
Okay, that sounds incredibly useful because saying no to your boss feels very different from saying no to your kid, right?
Totally different dynamics. For example, with a child, instead of just a flat no, maybe it's not right now, but how about we do X this weekend instead? With a demanding boss, it might be about framing your no in terms of existing priorities.
Like, I can do this new thing, but Project Z will have to wait, which is more important right now.
Precisely. It's about communicating your capacity clearly and professionally. And then there's that pop quiz we mentioned earlier.
Right, the people pleaser identifier.
Yeah, helps with that self-assessment. The overall aim, really, is to help you reclaim your time and energy, get people to respect your boundaries, and recognize your own personal authority.
That sounds really comprehensive in terms of practical steps. Now, for a balanced view, every book has its strengths and, well, maybe areas where it doesn't quite hit the mark for everyone. What stands out here?
Okay, so strengths first. Readability is a huge one. Looking at the Amazon reviews, and there are nearly 7,000 of them globally, people constantly mention how easy to read it is. Well written, a good choice for a couple of hours.
So accessible.
Very. People appreciate the straightforward, kind of no-fluff style. Some called it straight talking. The information quality also gets praised a lot. Lots of mentions of valuable insights and practical advice.
Any specific examples jump out?
Yeah. One reviewer, Sofia Atnafiu, called it a wonderful read with valuable insights, practical advice, and strategies. Another, Jamie B., said it's a blueprint to taking back your peace. People really seem to connect with the advice on removing guilt and the concrete strategies.
And the short chapters we talked about.
Yes, that comes up again and again as a positive. Makes it easy to digest, like we said. Read in bits without losing meaning was how one reviewer put it.
Okay, so clear strengths in accessibility and practical advice. What about the flip side? Where does it maybe fall short?
The most common criticism seems to be around pacing and repetition. Quite a few reviewers found it frustratingly simple and repetitive.
Simple and repetitive. How so?
Well, it ties into concerns about content depth. While the simplicity is a strength for some, others felt it was incredibly basic. They wanted maybe more psychological depth, more science behind it, rather than primarily the author's experience and anecdotes.
So less theory, more action guide, but maybe too basic for some.
Potentially, yeah. Thomas Dalton was quite critical, calling it incredibly basic, and suggesting some strategies were just actions.
Right.
He also felt the template responses could sound robotic if used verbatim.
That's a fair point about templates.
And another reviewer, Zara Adnan, admitted it got a bit snoozy and she couldn't finish it, likely due to that feeling of repetition.
Okay, so the very thing that makes it accessible for beginners might be a drawback for others.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword, in a way.
That leads perfectly into the next question. Who is this book really for? And maybe just as importantly, who might want to look elsewhere?
Right. This is key for you, the listener, to consider. I'd say this book is absolutely ideal for that classic people pleaser.
Someone really struggling with saying no.
Yes. Someone who feels that guilt intensely, struggles to set boundaries, often feels like a doormat, No. If you're looking for a foundational, really straightforward guide to get started with assertiveness and taking back your time, this is likely a fantastic starting point.
You need those initial tools.
Exactly. Practical tools you can use right away without getting sort of bogged down in complex theories.
And who is it not for?
Well, if you're already pretty assertive, or if you're looking for, say, advanced negotiation tactics for really tricky work situations or deep psychological analysis with lots of case studies, you'll probably find this too basic.
Okay.
It's not aiming to be an academic text. It doesn't dive deep into, for example, the complex dynamics of navigating a workplace culture that actively punishes saying no or deep-seated family patterns of codependency.
So it provides the internal shift tools, but maybe not the full playbook for complex external pressures.
That's a good way to put it. It's really designed for those starting that journey, needing those first crucial, actionable steps towards setting boundaries.
That's a really helpful distinction. I hope you're enjoying the topic so far. Please subscribe to the Deep Seek Diaries and like this video. Don't forget, you can find us on the major social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Linked in the description section are all the resources in discussion today, including books, websites, and so on. All right, let's zoom back in on those Amazon reviews. The social proof, we touched on it, but what's the overall picture from those thousands of readers? Does it line up with what we've been discussing?
Yeah, let's look closer. Overall, it holds a solid 4.2 out of 5 stars, based on, like we said, nearly 7,000 global ratings. So generally, people like it.
4.2 is pretty decent.
It is. The breakdown is interesting, though. 57% are 5-star ratings, which is a strong majority. Then 19% are 4-star, so over 3/4 are giving it a positive rating.
Okay, that's significant.
Definitely. But then you have 14% giving it 3 stars, 6% giving 2 stars, and 4% giving 1 star. So while most find it good or great, there's still roughly 1/4 of readers who found it just okay or not very helpful.
Which echoes our discussion about it being great for some, but maybe basic for others.
Exactly. And digging into specific comments beyond the AI summaries Amazon gives you, you see that pattern clearly. Reviewers like Theabella loved the bite-sized digestible nuggets of advice, calling it exactly what I needed.
Right.
Someone named Darlin found it eye-opening and said it helped them learn and understand myself better. And the popularity of certain highlighted passages in the Kindle version is telling.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
The phrase, saying no to people is one of the most important skills you can develop, has been highlighted over 6,000 times.
Wow, that core message really lands.
It absolutely resonates. But then you see the criticisms mirrored too. Thomas Dalton's comment about just reading the table of contents to get the gist.
Right, implying it's repetitive or thin.
Yeah. And a reviewer writing in Spanish also mentioned its superficial nature and lack of depth, reinforcing that basic critique for some readers.
So it seems our deep dive aligns pretty well with the broad customer sentiment. It works well for its target audience.
Absolutely. It delivers on that promise of practical, easy-to-grasp advice for people new to assertiveness. The high ratings confirm that.
But the criticisms about simplicity and repetition are also valid points, highlighted by those who are looking for something more.
Precisely. Its biggest strength, its simplicity, is also its main limitation, depending on what you're looking for.
This whole deep dive into the art of saying no, it really does shine a light on just how powerful and maybe how difficult that little word can be. It seems clear that for a lot of people, this book serves as a really valuable, maybe even essential first step towards reclaiming some personal power, some peace, and crucially, their time.
I agree. It provides a solid foundation. And as we wrap up, maybe here's a thought for you, the listener, to mull over. If you really did master this art, the art of saying no to the things that drain you or don't align with you, what unexpected yes might suddenly become possible for you?
A yes to yourself.
Exactly. A yes to your own needs, your own desires, things you've maybe put on the back burner for far too long. What could you finally have the time and energy for?
That is a powerful question to end on. What opens up when you close some doors?
Something to think about.
I hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Deep Seek Diaries. And please don't forget to check out the linked resources in the description section. Hit the subscribe and like buttons as you head off if you haven't already. Until the next episode, goodbye.